Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pixel Scouter. I'm your host, Pat O'Reilly, alongside Rob Green. Today we have a very special guest by the name of Aust1n. How's it going, Aust1n?
Yo, hello.
What is up?
Chilling. Nothing much.
Chilling. You were
up.
banging out to that intro music, digging it.
Yep.
So far, of all of our guests, that has been the most enthusiastic reaction. We know that you're hyped for this.
Of course.
Awesome. Okay, Aust1n, tell us who you are and why we should think you're awesome.
Well, we know you're awesome, but tell us who you are. What are you kind of known for on the internet and like around the world?
I'm mainly known for mindset videos and tip videos on Siege. Examples would be like how to stop overthinking, how to gain more confidence, stuff like that.
Well, did I find one on how to get good there?
Yes, how to get good at Rainbow Six Siege.
Stop being a scrub, yeah.
Yep. I also stream. I'm a screenwriter, and I'm just getting into day trading.
GME? Hold on to those stonks?
That didn't have any influence on it. I actually just started getting into it, and GME and all that shit happened at that moment. And like my chat was like AMC. I didn't know what was happening, so I'm like, okay, fine.
Yeah, AMC too. Yeah.
Sure, I'll buy 5 shares of AMC, and I lost.
Can't get those chicken tendies yet.
Yep.
Tendies. I forgot about that part.
Some hobbies would be guitar, chess, and just making my chat laugh and all that. And
that's great.
Soon I will be moving to a content house with another YouTuber named Braction, which people also know about more than me nowadays.
Nice, man. Very exciting.
Dude, I'm so excited to talk to you about the content house, but like that, we'll ease into that later. I think
yes.
For now, and like you were super humble about your who you are and what you're doing, but when you say that you make Rainbow Six Siege videos on Twitter, on YouTube, and you're streaming on Twitch, like some of your videos are like meteoric, right? Like they've got over 1 million views, which is like a pipe dream for a lot of content creators. How did you get started in this? Like, were you doing this as a 10-year-old kid just for fun, just like with a webcam on your hand, just shooting around the house, or like what made you get into it, and how did you get into it? As
a matter of fact, no, not a 10-year-old kid, but a 13-year-old kid.
Okay. Puberty hits.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, my videos were awful when my voice was up and down all over the place, making waves.
That's charming, though.
It's endearing for sure.
We all love it when an 11-year-old joins our game and starts screaming.
I made. If you guys know what The Last of Us is on PlayStation,
sure. Yeah, come on. Do we know what The Last of Us is?
But everyone knows the first game for the single player, but not the multiplayer.
Yeah. Now you're talking.
I had no idea,
dude. Now you're talking French. This is a new language. What?
But I would make Last of Us multiplayer videos all the time when I was younger. Last of Us had like a really small audience, maybe, I don't know, 10,000 consistent players on the game. So there weren't that many. The biggest YouTuber at the time was just like a 30K YouTuber. So I thought, shouldn't be that hard to grow here. And then whatever I grow with this, I can move over the next game. I gained about 1,000 subs when I was 17. And then when Siege came out, I moved over. Of course, comment section filled with kids saying, "No, you're gonna lose all your viewers. Stay here."
Oh yeah, those 1,000 diehard fans for Last of Us 2
yes.
or Last of Us multiplayer.
They only want
they
Last
wanted
of Us multiplayer content.
They wanted AAA gaming all for themselves. Yeah,
that's unreal. But okay, so what happened when you were 13 and 17, right? Like, what were you making content with? When did you start uploading to YouTube? Or is that something that you're just ashamed of and you never want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. Someday I might watch some of my old videos. Like the very first video I tried making was of when Destiny came out, when the first Destiny came out, and I was just sitting there on my bed, all greased up, with a controller in my hand. I'm like, all right, guys, it's my destiny to play Destiny. and then and I had a tripod with a camera like facing me, and I still have the camera, and I just kept completely botching it in recordings. You know how when you're recording like a voice line and you keep like stuttering and you got to go back. That was me.
I'm guiltily that person when I've like set up. You get a new phone, you have to set up your voicemail for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah. I try it like 10 times until I get it right.
Yeah, that happens with every recorder. Yeah, every audio recorder.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I often just let it fly to the breeze, and
so your voicemail just ums and uhs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pat, you're good off the cuff though. Pat's like the master of improv there.
True. I do. I live improv my whole life.
Hey, it's Pat here.
Okay, wait. So were you a console gamer back then when you were recording these?
Yes.
Hey.
Yeah. I played Siege on console for about 9 months, and then I got a PC.
What was that transition like for you?
I mean, my viewers didn't really they weren't against it, but like it was just better quality videos, and it was smooth. It was so smooth. People are always like, "Oh, is there really a huge difference between console and PC?" And I'm like, yes. If you like having control in life, yes, it is.
So did you ever plug your controller into your PC, or did you immediately transition to mouse keyboard?
I did once, and I got a kill, and I never touched it again. So I have 100% win rate with the controller.
Nice.
That's awesome. But like, how was the transition for you, like personally? Forget your audience for a second. Like, was it difficult going from controller to mouse?
Did you feel the pull? Did you want to go back to that safety net of the controller?
Absolutely not. No, if you can even call a controller a safety net, you're just like it's like two sticks of inconsistency, where you're whiffing all your shots. You really have to put time and energy into not whiffing your shots. It's weird on console. You almost like think of different strategies to avoid taking long range gunfights because you know you're going to potato.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's not like console players are dumb, which a lot of PC players think. Like, oh, if you're a console diamond and you come over to PC, you're stuck in silver. That's not true.
I feel like there's a reason why there's no such thing as a competitive esport FPS console like game, right?
Unless the game has aim assist in it, and Siege does not have aim assist on console. But so like Call of Duty, all the esports are Call of Duties on console.
Oh, I actually did not realize that. I thought it was all okay. My bad. I totally foot in mouth. I take back what I said.
Yeah, with like Counter-Strike and Overwatch, it's all on PC.
Or like Valorant as well, right?
Valorant's not even on console. They actually came out with CS:GO on console, and it was so unplayable because of the recoil patterns.
What about PUBG?
PUBG's on mobile, but yeah, I think there are actually...
That always blows my mind.
Actually, I think you can compete against PC players on your phone or iPad.
Like it's cross-compatible.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, that seems so bizarre when there's like aim assist on console or mobile, and then you're playing against no aim assist mouse and keyboard. Like, you know, it's difficult to make it cross-compatible like that. But it sounds like I believe that there is a time and a place for console gaming, and I just think console gaming, I have nothing against it. I'm a PC gamer, but I think console gaming is generally more casual. I just think that.
Yes. Yeah, so, it's just slower paced. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just and I'm not saying what I think is right. I'm just saying like that's how I view it. But when you went into transitioning from console to PC and with Siege, you said if you want control over your life, like that's why you do it. Like, you know, two sticks of inconsistency on console. So you weren't playing Siege to be a casual gamer. Like you came into it with a mindset.
Yes. Of course, yeah.
Like what was like? Did you want to be a pro? Like what were you setting out to do and accomplish?
Well, when I first started playing Siege, I didn't know what I wanted to do because in The Last of Us, there was a try hard scene. Like it wasn't competitive. They just tried really hard in custom games. I didn't really find that fun, so I just played for content. But when I came over to Siege and I was getting better and better and I wanted to keep getting better, then I started wanting a PC. So it wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna pick this game up and I'm gonna be the best there ever was. It kind of just happened. But I
And-
did have a mindset that I wanted to make content with it at least.
Yeah, good content.
Mhm. Yeah, but looking back at it now, they were all it was all terrible.
It's always hard to look back at your.
But that's a good thing. If you look back on your content like a few years ago and it's pretty bad, but you don't see anything wrong with it yourself, then that's a problem.
That's an excellent. To anyone out there who's looking back at their own content, think about it from that perspective.
Just anything in life, really. Like, if you can look back and cringe at yourself, that's like a good thing because it means you've grown, right? Like you've changed.
Exactly. Exactly.
And God knows I've cringed in my past.
What have you? Have you made any terrible videos back in the day with content?
I haven't made any videos. Like, I'm not a content. I wouldn't consider myself a content creator. So no, for me. What about you, Pat?
I mean, I've got some old streaming videos from years ago, but I have not looked at them. I assume I would think that I was pretty funny.
I feel like
I'm sure if you're always this giggly in your videos, then yes, of course you're gonna make people laugh.
Pat does tend to be pretty giggly for sure, and he also tends to.
I've definitely got heated up in some competitive hotspots where my teammates are throwing. That gets definitely got me.
Yo, shut up, man, just be quiet.
Oh, I don't get heated at them, but on stream I was like fully angry and was like, I might have to turn the stream off. This is not going.
Has that happened? Yeah, has that happened to you, Austin? Have you ever been tilted on stream?
I mean, of course, but I'm always under the blanket that whatever I get tilted at will be perceived as it'll just make people laugh, and as long as people are laughing at it, then it doesn't really matter.
What about, have you played Siege competitively, like on not just ranked mode, sort of, but yeah?
Yes, I've played Challenger League, which is the league below Pro League.
Right. How do you manage tilt in that?
I mean, when it comes to competitive, you're trying to like stay as consistent as possible, and usually whenever you lose a round, you know exactly why you lost, and you can fix it the next round. Nothing's really ever up in the air. Like, you never really want to rely on specific gunfights to win a round, and then think back like, oh, we would have won that if you won that gunfight. But in reality, there were a lot more things wrong with that to come to that point where you're blaming a gunfight on a round, or blaming a round on a gunfight,
And it's probably a lot easier to be not tilted when you have good teammates that you've chosen to be a part of. You're all on the same page. You've had some practices.
I mean, that in itself isn't strong enough, because you can pick whoever you want, who you think is good when you pick them up. But then when they start getting passive aggressive with you and gaslighting all your decisions, then that can get tough.
It's really interesting. A couple episodes ago, we spoke to Casey, also known as Pizza Sapien, who's more of like, she's a console Rainbow Six Siege casual streamer and gamer.
Okay. And
one of the things she said is she tried to make a go at the competitive scene as well, and she said the exact same thing that you just said. Like, you know, the egos and the attitude, as soon as you start to try to make a competitive push, just completely changes the game and the environment in what you're playing in.
That could be attributed to her rank and the people that are willing to team with her rank. I don't know what rank she is, but I assume based on what you said that she could be gold or low plat. And if you team with other low plats, every game and every profession or industry in life, there's this certain section where people think they're hot shit, but they have the biggest ego, and they're not really. They're just kind of like okay at what they do, but they think they're just amazing, and nothing you like. Yeah, and that's plat 3 and gold 1 in Siege.
Yeah, they're usually missing some key component of the overall gameplay, be it knowledge of the map, specific knowledge points, specific engagement.
Usually they have it all down, but map knowledge and all that, they might not know strats. They might blame their team. it's mainly just they don't take responsibility for their faults.
Well, if you're not taking responsibility for your fault, that means that you're not willing to look at your mistakes and improve upon them. I think you're already doing the right thing. But if you were always already doing the right thing, you would be number one in the world, right?
Yes. But then those people, they don't think it's that easy. They think it's you're just lucky to be in champ. I just got unlucky with my teammates.
It's my ping, man.
All my teammates are bad. That's why I'm
maybe if you only play 20 games, yeah.
My server, it's the server position. It's just, oh god, it's too far away. My ping's bad.
Yeah. Like, oh shoot, my headshot didn't register. We would have won that round, and that would be my diamond game.
Game's broken. Ubisoft nerf operator Y X Z whatever. So
that's actually an interesting thing that you mentioned that, because if you haven't been playing this game for a long time, the SMG-11, which is Smoke's little SMG, it had an ACOG on it. Same thing with Jaeger and Bandit and Ash, Twitch. They were all really good operators with their ACOG. But slowly, one by one, the Siege community was like, take it away, because they were getting destroyed by it. So first it was Smoke, he lost his ACOG. Then it was Jaeger and Bandit, then Ash. I was like, who's next? What is the Siege community gonna point their finger at? This one YouTuber Godly is popping off with Twitch ACOG, and so that's gonna get everyone to use Twitch and start slamming. And then, what do you know? They take Twitch ACOG away.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna preface this by saying, like, I am actually afraid about our trivia with Rainbow Six Siege at the end.
He's gonna dummy.
He's gonna dummy this.
That's awesome. Though.
He's gonna dummy this.
I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what you have for the trivia.
Yeah.
I was thinking about making a trivia website for like players, just as a fun game, where it's just a white screen, you hit ready, and then an operator in any uniform just pops for like half a second, and you have to guess what operator you just saw.
That's cool.
Just visually, no audio.
Nope.
Yeah,
it just pops up for like even less than half a second.
That's so useful too, though. That's like training.
Yeah.
That's a great idea, actually. I like that. And because you have multiple skins for each operator too, right? So
Yes.
So, I mean, with regards to your YouTube channel and your videos with Six Siege, what would you say has been your most successful video, viewership-wise?
Viewership-wise was how to get good at Siege.
Just straight how to get good at Siege. And
I was setting you up when I asked that question.
Well, yeah, it got like almost 2 million views, but easily the most relevant video that I made that people won't stop mentioning it is how to warm up at Rainbow Six Siege. And people still use a routine. It's like a 2-year-old video, but people still use it.
So what, why do people trust you to tell them how to get good at Siege and how to warm up at Siege? Is it that this content doesn't exist out there and this is the only option? I'm assuming no.
Well, my style of videos don't exist out there, really.
Okay.
And to kind of gain people's trust, I found that I'm naturally just interested in like how people think and different people's mindsets. So I'm always thinking about this stuff. So if someone's watching one of my videos and I explain word for word exactly how they think in every situation, that gains their trust pretty quickly. They're like, wait, what? How does he know? And I'm like, do this, this, and that, and then it fixes their problem. That gains a lot of credibility.
You're Queen's Gambiting Rainbow Six Siege on YouTube.
I don't get the analogy.
Have you not seen
I've seen Queen's Gambit, okay. Yes.
They're basically analyzing every possible scenario of chess and why people would make these moves, is what I got from watching Queen's Gambit.
Okay.
And then applying those potential outcomes to the person sitting in front of them and saying, like, what's their mentality? And then trying to play against it. And the reason I brought it up is because you mentioned chess was like a hobby of yours. So I thought, I really was hoping that would land. It clearly missed. That's okay though. But yeah, it sounds like
I guess I didn't get the analogy because chess is more objective with what you can do. It's more black and white, I guess.
No
but
pun
with Siege
intended.
and like people's mindsets, it's a lot more different. Because I came up with this term called the angry aimer, which is that Plat 3 that I was talking about, who is okay at aiming, but sucks in the grand scheme of the game, and they blame everybody else around them for their issues.
The angry aimer. So do you have other
The
personas?
angry aimer, yeah. Yes, I came up with the Zach and Cody theory, like not too long, like a few weeks ago, where if you are trying to improve at the game, but you feel limited to talking, like you want to talk to your team in voice chat, but you don't feel like you can, then there's two reasons why. Is because you're either an angry aimer and your comms come off as more passive aggressive and you kind of make the rest of your team tilted, or you're not as confident. You could be like you could have like a 13-year-old voice, or you could even just be a girl gamer where they're like, yo, shut the fuck up, and like,
Yeah, right away.
them just discrediting your opinion on how to play the game based on things you can't really control, like which would be your voice in this situation. And you're not as mechanically skilled, but you almost feel cornered because you don't think you can communicate to your team because you think they're going to just fire back. I've never really experienced it. Now with this radio face of a voice.
No, just the radio voice. Just the radio voice.
Yeah.
Radio face of a voice, yeah.
I think you
Zach
talk
is your
calmly,
passive
clearly.
aggressive,
Like if I click on your video, within a few seconds, I've got a clear, calm voice talking to me, not yelling at me. So that's already, I'm continuing to listen.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're also showing clips of yourself doing the things you're talking about in your videos for the most part, which lends a lot of credibility, right? I can see you're walking the walk as you're.
Yes.
I think that combined is probably what's giving you a lot of traction.
Yeah, you're not unranked talking shit. You are you're a legit Rainbow Six Siege player mechanically and strategically. People can see that, and you're walking them through how you think and how the opposing team is thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great. I mean, that's great stuff. Was there a point in which you saw your viewership rise significantly, or has it just been sort of a steady climb throughout your uploading career?
I mean, I would always when I was younger, I would always force highlight videos to work. So like just frag movies. I don't know why. I guess I was just appealed to the lack of work when it comes to uploading content, because it was really tough coming up with those tip videos. But whenever I made a tip video, there was like a 5,000, 10,000 subscriber jump. But with those frag movies, it was only like 100, 200 subs a day. I don't know why it never jumped at me that I should just make tip videos. I was just trying to force the frag movies to work. But
I mean,
I'd say it's a
obviously
steady
you
climb,
figured
yeah.
it out by now, yeah.
Yeah, figured it out by now.
You want to tell us about how you have gotten your name out there throughout your career? Like, what did you start out just uploading videos and hoping for the best, or?
That's essentially it. Yeah, I'd never really networked back in the day, but then people would follow me back on Twitter, and I would just queue rank with them, like Bolo, Skittles, Godly, Spoit, Microwave Gaming, Hixcap, for anyone who even knows Hixcap. But
Oh, I know Hixcap.
okay,
Representing
yeah.
the UK scene.
Yes.
If you would rank with these guys, that is in a way networking.
Yeah, that's networking, but that's only after I kind of gained traction, almost hitting like around 80K. That's when people would want to play with me. Before that, I didn't have a name, so why the fuck would people want to queue with just a random? Yeah.
Who the heck is this guy?
So let me get this straight. You were like growing in popularity by putting out basically the frag videos, not so much, but the tip videos on YouTube. And then
tip videos gave people a reason to come back and watch me, knowing that I know what I'm talking about.
So,
yeah. Go on.
So then that brought your subscriber rate and your viewership up. And then at a certain point, you were reaching out to more popular streamers and content creators in your niche, Rainbow Six Siege. And you're saying like, hey, do you want to queue together? Do you want to like play together? And at a certain point, they're like, who the fuck is this guy? We don't know who he is. But then at a certain point, they're like, oh shit, yeah, there's probably some cross-pollination here, and it makes sense. Like, this guy clearly has a little bit of a following. Not only is he interested in my niche, but he's also a content creator. I like some of his stuff. Like, yeah, let's start to queue together. Is that about right?
Yes, that especially happened. Do you know J9, Justin?
I don't actually know. Pat, do
He's
you?
he's a CS:GO
No.
streamer.
I
Or
trust
he
him 'cause
was.
he has a number within his. It's just like
Yes, that's what you do to get cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put a number in your name.
The original
But he
Johnny
played-
5.
He played CS:GO and he played PUBG, and he played a lot with Shroud and Skadoodle. So he already had a huge name. And one day he just followed my stream, and I saw the alert. I'm like, whoa. And he's like, yeah, I watch your YouTube videos a lot. And now we just became friends. We play every now and then.
That's awesome. So how did you and Braction become friends?
After I hit around 80K or 100K subs on YouTube, he started making tip videos that resemble mine closely, and he would credit me for a lot of the tips that he made. And that's essentially how we became friends. He and I were on the same team in Challenger League.
Very, very cool, man. I mean, Pat, do you have more questions on this? Because I kind of want to dive into this content house situation. But
yeah, I'm excited to hear about that too.
So, right now, you live in one state.
Sure.
But soon, you will be moving to a content house. And
Yes.
can you describe for people that may not know or have heard of the term content house what that is and what it means?
So basically, you rent out a massive house. So with us, we're getting 5 content creators in total, 5-bedroom house.
Yeah.
Pretty much there's only furniture in each other's rooms, in like the living room, kitchen, entryway, every like hallways, anything like that. It's probably just going to be filled with cables and gaming chairs, and some cameras and mics. And
like sponsor merch.
yes.
I got to assume that this house.
Yeah, the tabletop is just going to be all G Fuel.
Totally. Logitech.
I mean, all of you eat on stream, so you don't need a dining room table.
Are you gonna Big Brother it? Are you just gonna have like a continuous 24/7 stream?
No, that's not going to happen. That's a little invasive at that point. But
yeah, true.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a podcast of our own. We're gonna do like cooking streams.
Nice.
We're gonna have a full-on house channel where we all collab on pretty much every video. We'll have our individual channels with our own channel ideas, all that, our own individual streams. Yeah, it's just a house to make as much content and as much money as possible.
It sounds like it's actually going to be a lot.
How common
Yes.
how common are content houses? Like, is this a pretty common thing? Is it never been done before?
I mean, 10 years ago, they were not at all. They were like, they were more of a mystery. Like, oh my God, that's so cool. It's almost like a Halo, or like, wow. But nowadays, they're getting more and more common with mainly just esports teams, but only with bigger content creators will they all just get together and make a house. But we've like ran all the numbers, and it shouldn't be that hard to grow. Like, it could kind of open the door to like a smaller content creators trying to like get together.
I think it's a great thing. The collaboration, it's fantastic. Your collaborators are in the same house as you.
Exactly.
So it makes everything
So we can literally just pull pranks on each other whenever we want, or just like like one of us is doing VR, we just sneak in the room like a Street Fighter scene almost. Just like kind of act it out.
Yeah, I think that it has the potential to make everyone's content better, as well as exposing you all to their audience
100%.
all
Yes.
the time. Yeah, that's very cool. So who would you say was the catalyst for this? Did one person reach out to everybody to put this together, or?
Well, it was Braction's idea mainly. It was Braction's idea. He's been trying to like find different people, but they've all kind of been flaky. I was the first one to really solidify the place with him, and like it was our court too. And then there's this other content creator who makes tip videos just like we do, but he's a lot smaller than we are, but he has good energy. His name is A21 Mayo. He's going to be our third. And then Braction's brother, who's an editor. We're just looking for a fifth right now.
Nice. You just brought up editing, and I was meaning to ask you: do you do a lot of your own editing when you make your tip videos, or do you
Yes,
involve
yes.
other people?
Only recently, like only the past 5 or 6 videos have I gotten an editor to make them. But yes, everything prior, I've edited myself.
Nice. Are you self-taught? Did you
Yes.
take a course or something?
Well, I mean, in high school, in like sophomore year, I took a video editing class, but I didn't learn Premiere Pro. I used Final Cut Pro, but I kind of knew how good videos were supposed to look like already. But then I never used Final Cut Pro. I moved straight to Sony Vegas and then Premiere Pro. So it's not like the muscle memory meant anything with Final Cut.
Well, I had a question. I mean, you mentioned something just about the content house. You mentioned that you kind of crunch the numbers and you think that it should work and you should all grow. When you say that you crunch the numbers, like what numbers are you crunching? Like how are you coming to the conclusion that the content house makes sense for you, your co-creators, and what are essentially going to be your roommates? Like what numbers are you looking at? How do you figure it'll make you grow? And other people that are in a similar situation that are maybe content creators themselves or may be aspiring content creators, like why would they consider this and what metrics should they be looking at?
We took into account total cost of living for each of us. We took into account how many hours in the day we have to make different content and really just make trendy stuff. Those were the only numbers we really ran. And plus, we all know how much the YouTube algorithm pays if you make good content. Like I was just talking about this with Rob about, he told me about this toys convention, and these parents were doing a keynote about how they like film their kid just reviewing toys on their channel, and every video getting like 10, 20 million plus views, and they're making bank. I know that for sure.
Yeah, for everybody, I mean, that wasn't privy to that conversation, we were talking about a couple years ago into the New York Toy Fair, and these parents had this keynote speech, and it was called Ryan's Toys or Ryan's Reviews on YouTube. Basically, if you type in the word Ryan, his channel comes up as like the #1 thing, and like the biggest brands like Hasbro and Hot Wheels and you name it is giving this kid, not only giving him free toys, but paying for him to upload videos of him unwrapping and unboxing and playing with these toys.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like, so his parents, part of the keynote speech was saying that they made like it was like something like 13 or 15 million dollars that year. And the kid's 8 years old at the time. Like,
I wonder if they spend the
And
money.
they already have everything they want. They're getting the toys. Like, what would you spend your money on?
I wonder if the parents spend the money and the kid isn't getting much of it. But because that's what happened with Britney Spears. Her parents spent all her money.
I don't know. Yeah, but at the same time, like maybe if there's most of it's going to their trust, I don't know, right? But this was
Or a
also
house in the kid's name or something like that's.
Since the Toy Fair, though, I do remember that some major things changed with YouTube around like advertising channels with children specifically. And so if anything was like a paid promotion and it was geared towards kids, I know YouTube was taking that like very seriously and being very strict about it. So I don't know how that changed any of that stuff. But yeah, the YouTube algorithm, if you're killing it, can pay well. For people who may not know Aust1n, there's tons of videos out there on this, not only on YouTube, on Twitch and stuff. Like Disguised Toast, I know did like a great Twitch one.
Okay.
Do you feel comfortable sharing like what does YouTube pay per 1,000 views roughly? I know it varies.
So yes, it varies a lot. Not like it can go anywhere between 1 and 25. Depending on the style of content you make.
1 cent to 25 cents.
$1 per 1,000 views to $25.
$1 to $25 per 1,000 views. So
yes.
If you're figuring out, hey, we're going to get together for a content house, we want 5 creators, what's the house going to cost to rent? And like, how many videos are we uploading a week today? How many can we upload together collaborating? How many views do we expect to get? And on the low end, what do we expect to make from the YouTube algorithm alone? Is that kind of the calculation that you guys are making?
Yes, but mostly when it comes to YouTube, it's all sponsors because Okay, so depending on the type of content you make, your CPM can average like the dollar per thousand. It's all based on the content you make. So kid-friendly content with the toys easily makes the most amount of money on YouTube because
okay.
it's most advertiser friendly. The more
Right.
advertiser friendly you are, the more you're going to make. So if you got a Fortnite gamer and you got Siege gamer, both making the same content, Fortnite is going to get paid twice as more because Siege is all about terrorism and firearms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So like
About
Coca-Cola, like a big brand, doesn't want to be associated with terrorism and gun violence and things.
Yes, actually, when I was at DreamHack Austin, Geico Gaming was at the Siege arena or booth, and they were talking to the org I was under at the time, and they're like, yeah, we can't really get into Siege because of all the guns and terrorism
and blood.
That's the whole blood realism. Because as a business, if you can't sell to women, like you're going to be unsuccessful.
Yeah, and those things, generally speaking, are like broad stroke, are probably not as appealing to women, to like certain parts of the population, children. Not that they're appealing to like no women or like all men, but just broadly speaking, if as a brand, right?
Yes.
Yeah, which you have to.
Yeah,
and
you kind of have to be.
Fortnite doesn't have blood, and it's not terrorists, counter-terrorists. It's all, a lot of that's been removed out of it.
It's all just pew 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 pew. Yeah,
It's very cartoony.
It's very
yeah, like smoke clouds come out of your body when you get shot.
So
Yeah.
isn't it a little counterintuitive? Like when you're, how do you, let me put it this way. How do you decide who are going to be good content house creators? Because I would think
Very good.
that you wouldn't want people that are all in the same lane. Like somebody that's doing YouTube tips videos, you maybe don't want another YouTube's tips videos person. Maybe you want like a, YouTube's memes person, and then like a TikTok creator, and then like a Snapchat person, so that you can kind of all learn together, grow. The person that's amazing on Snapchat can teach the YouTube person. The person that's great on YouTube can teach the Twitch person. Like, I'm sure there's different strategies, but what's your approach, and like how are you thinking about it?
Well, our approach to why we should me, Braxton, A21 Mayo all have the same audience pretty much. Like the same people watch us consistently. So off rip, that makes success with the content house. Like everyone, like all the viewers are already familiar with everybody. They don't need to be introduced like their sense of humor, their past, whatever. Sure, that can all be achieved in about a month, but just to grow as fast as possible was easiest to, in our heads at least. But what makes good like companions, I guess, would be you have good energy, like good hype energy. If you're like kid friendly, you're not like closed off in your little box where you only want to play Siege for the like, and you're not branching out into anything else.
But isn't that what you're doing though? Like, aren't you bringing on 3 other Siege? Like, there's going to be 3 Siege content creators in one house that are doing similar content. So, so the thinking behind it is to like combine all of your audiences and grow the loyalty in that audience instead of diversify the audience.
Well, we're doing both by bringing the entire audience together and diversifying, because once we move to the content house, from previous videos and like creators that we've seen, it's much easier to do variety stuff when you're with a group of people.
Cool.
So cooking streams, podcasts, just a house channel where you're doing vlogs,
Right.
and
All
such.
those.
It's way easier when you're with a group of people.
So is that because like, hey, if you on your own, Aust1n, on your own channel decided to do like Aust1n Cooks, it's so off-brand from the rest of your Siege videos that it's like kind of alienating the audience, but that same audience that knows that you're in a content house that sees Aust1n and Braxton and A21 Mayo together cooking, they're like, oh, these are 3 of the coolest guys that I watch in Siege. Like, I'll watch them cook, and it's
Exactly.
Its own
We're just
thing.
like fucking around. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually. And what about the other 2?
Are you a good cook?
True.
I mean, I like to think so, but people didn't like how I cut an avocado the other day. So
Well, how did you cut the avocado?
I did the avocado
like a fruit.
I don't know.
Like almost like cutting, like almost like just like having it sideways, like having an egg sideways and just cutting down.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Pat, how do you cut an avocado?
I go in half the long way around the egg, get the
Like-
core out, and then you can either pop it out if it's a really nice fresh avocado and do your slices, or I've seen people do it where you slice it in it and then punch it out and it all comes out into
Yeah, like a
cubes.
mango almost.
Yeah. I think that's the normal way to do an avocado. I don't know.
And then they saw me use like a spaghetti spatula to stir eggs in a pan. So,
This
they
is
weren't too
already
happy
good
about that.
This is already great content. Yeah, totally. And I love what you
I
said.
am interested. Continue to use the wrong utensil. That's good stuff.
That is
I made
jokes.
sushi on stream, and yeah, I didn't use that mat that you're meant to use for an even roll.
Mm-hmm.
So I just used I was just rolling it out like Play-Doh, and I was using a really small knife, and it was getting bent down, and people were getting pissed off.
Amazing.
Actually, next time you do one of those streams, I actually want to watch you just struggle. It's almost like on purpose, right? It's like, how can I piss
that
people off with
depends.
sushi?
That depends on what I'm making. I don't know what's wrong with cutting an avocado, just boom, 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 and then cutting right through the seed, cutting the seed in half.
Hey man, you can put pineapple on
You're an animal.
You can put pineapple on pizza, and some people will be tilted, right?
It's kind of like it's a creative process. You really don't have to play by some rules. You can do whatever you.
Exactly. And I was like, yo, you guys gotta leave me alone. But then I didn't know I could make people more infuriated with my pizza toppings than pineapple on pizza, which is pear slices and peach slices.
Actually, for anybody who's chirping, I haven't tried peach, but thinly sliced pear with something really spicy is delicious on pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, I've tried both of these at a fancy pizza place, and it was great.
People can't stop roasting me on my stream. The people I queue with, I'm like, yo, what's a weird food combo you love? They're like, oh, rice and ketchup. I'm like, normie, I put pear on pizza. And then they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? That's not right.
that's not right.
Right.
Period.
That's not right, yeah.
Hard stop. Yeah.
And I tell them I don't like cake, and they're like, get the fuck out of the call.
Hey, I also don't like cake.
Yeah, pie is superior.
Pie is way better. And people are always like, oh, should we make you a birthday cake? I'm like, I don't. They're like, what kind of cake you want? I'm like, I don't want any. Ice cream cake is acceptable, and cheesecake.
Cheesecake, yeah.
Which are not. They're not cake.
They're not cake. Those are 100% I agree with you.
So how do you
I
feel
will
about...
fuck with a carrot cake, probably because of the cream cheese icing. How it's way a different texture than a standard cake would be.
Yeah, I mean, carrot cake is more like a muffin, but
yeah.
But
is
I'm not a fan of the flavor.
Is tiramisu considered cake?
It's more of like a custard.
It
that has raw eggs.
That's true. It's very soft. It does not have the
Yeah.
Austin, you're pulling out some bacon knowledge here, man. Dropping that bomb. Yeah, it's a custard. It's got raw eggs. You fucking noob.
Yeah. If you can even call it bakery trivia, I just remember this fact you can't refrigerate tiramisu because it has raw eggs. I'll just keep it there for long periods of time.
No idea. I had no idea. All right, I'm tuning in. I'm tuning into your content house cooking stream. That's it.
Hell yeah, I love that. That's great. Do you yourself dabble in other games for variety streaming, or and also this question
I've tried it.
to off stream as well?
I never really. I mean, unless it's a really nice single player like Red Dead Redemption 2, that I will play off stream a lot because, being a screenwriter, I'm writing a western movie, and I was playing a lot of Red Dead for inspiration because it was really accurate to the time.
And it's very I obviously say, but it's very open world, so it allows you to. You're not on the rails following the story. It allows you to be out there and experience the world, which I think would be really helpful as a.
Yeah, 100%. And also, back when I was still trying to get used to content creation, I would play some Overwatch in stream, some PUBG, but not anymore. Mainly just Siege. And in my free time, if my chat's in the mood, I'll play Who Wants to Be a Millionaire on stream or a little bit of chess.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you to stream.
That kind of crosses into the cooking theme. I got Babe Ruth confused with Honey Boo Boo. And people were really, really upset at me.
Yeah, you would have gotten roasted for that.
I was like, isn't Babe Ruth the kid with the reality show?
Oh my god, yes. Oh shit, that's unreal.
I love it.
Yeah. I've done a
They're
couple
like,
of those.
No, it's the pig from that old movie.
I've done a couple of those in my day. Pat chirps me about him. It's all good, man. You're not alone.
Babe Ruth is the pig from Charlotte's Web.
That's totally.
That's what we're talking about.
That'll do, pig.
But what were you
I
going to
have no
ask?
train of thought.
What were you going to ask before we cut you off with the games I played, Rob?
Dude, no, I like. Look, I just have so many questions about screenwriting and about Overwatch and stuff. But like, let's just talk about your screenwriting. And to give the audience some like context, I was going through one of your videos on YouTube, and it was like you tilting some Champion League like, rated Rainbow Six Siege players. And just
With a shotgun?
Just sniping them, just shottying them, just whatever. You were just I think you actually got an ace in one of the like clips. And everybody on your team is like, oh my god, they're like losing their shit. Like, Aust1n, you're so good. So one of the things that I saw though was that somebody was like, go back to fucking writing scripts, Aust1n. Like they were just like so mad at you. And you took a year off essentially competitive Siege and content creation to do screenwriting. Is that right?
Yes.
Why? What? Right? Like,
well, I was just so sick of streaming and YouTube back in the day, that I just stopped, and I tried getting into like modeling and acting, but that wasn't for me.
What kind of modeling? Like hand modeling, underwear modeling?
Not hand modeling or
only feet.
Only feet?
Yes, onlyfeet.com.
Just the smile from like the toothpaste commercials.
yes. Just teeth model.
Just the smile. Yeah, we don't want anything with this other. None of that.
But
everything else you got going on. No.
Screenwriting, it's tough. It's fucking tough.
Like
because
comedies. Like what were you like?
More thrillers and intense stuff.
And but why? Why? Like I know, before you get into why it's tough, like I love. Obviously, you're a very creative person. Of all the things you could do, screenwriting, it's a very interesting medium.
When it comes to screenwriting, it's like I wanted to make content, but on a grand scheme, because I didn't feel like fulfilled just making it for like this niche audience that I get on Twitch and YouTube. So I wanted to like write stories on the grand scheme of things. So I was trying to write this Western. It's still not done because these scripts can take like a long time to make. Christopher Nolan, for example, spent 8 years writing Inception. Yeah. And then, but there are these other shows like Breaking Bad that only need like a few months to get written per season.
But there'll often be multiple screenwriters on a show as well, right? Like I'm talking about like a show like The Office or Community, where they'll get a bunch of comedians, like SNL does this. They'll get a bunch of comedians to sit around and just write jokes for a skit, come up with a skit idea and try to write jokes, and they'll all laugh and pick the best ones. You're kind of going at it on your own, which is incredibly tough.
Yeah, unless you really have experience or with writing in the past, then you can't really convey your ideas to other people as reliably. Like, it'll never be 100%, and that kind of gets annoying, and it's lonely.
And I also feel that it must be really tough to get criticism on, because most people that have never seen or read a screenplay before, it's not like reading a book. It's completely different literature, and you almost have to be trained in how to envision what you're writing down. And so that in itself must be its own challenge.
You get used to the format on how you're supposed to write pretty quickly, It's like kind of like editing, like seamlessly editing, and you can think more creatively because it's all just you're just on autopilot at that point. And yeah, I mean, it's nothing like the gaming world where you can just send a content creator a video, being like, "Oh, what do you think?" and they'll just do it for free. But if you want criticism on a screenplay, you got to send it over to like a screenwriter or anyone in the film industry and pay them to read it.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
because
'cause
it takes like two
so
hours
many.
probably to read it.
So I assume you did a bunch of that and submitted, and did that take you anywhere?
I'm still not done with the scripts.
Are you thinking more TV or movie or
Movies. Well, the Western's supposed to be a movie, but there's this other apocalyptic show that I'm still in concept, I guess. That's more geared towards TV, like episodic.
I do love a good apocalypse. I'm into that.
Apocalyptic movies are great, or series, both.
Post-apocalypse. I don't want to be there for the apocalypse.
Well, the apocalypse is going to be in like first episode or so. I'm still debating on what the apocalypse should be about. I've kind of come to the conclusion about like monsters or aliens.
monster alien locusts with a meteor that came from a meteor that was sent that was sent by aliens because it was sent by aliens because there was a gigantic volcano explosion.
Yes. Yeah, it's like when you lift up a giant cinder block and you see a bunch of cockroaches underneath you. It's when a meteor hits Earth and like spiders just.
Oh, really? Cronenberg this up, Morty.
So tell us about your process. If you're gonna sit down and write, do you have music? No music? Cup of tea? What do you got?
Sometimes I'll have music. Yeah, I can never just like. I find it hard to just sit down in complete silence and write. I can only write like maybe 2 or 3 lines, and then I have to get up and pace around. But music just calms me down and just lets me get in the zone easier.
What do you use for inspiration? Like, I know you mentioned Red Dead Redemption.
Mm-hmm.
Do you look at other movies? What do you use?
Yes, I look at other movies. A lot of intense stuff. I'm trying to like learn from, like Quentin Tarantino movies. Not Christopher Nolan movies because they're more cinematically driven than story, I guess.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. Tenet was brutal. I hated it.
You hated Tenet?
I hated it.
I've never seen it, so
I don't think I've seen that either.
It was.
Yeah, is it still in theaters?
It was bad. Inception. Inception was great. Tenet was brutal. It's bad.
Everyone says Tenet was great.
I hated it.
Unpopular.
The ending.
I get that it was like cinematically, like to your point, cinematically was technically so difficult. It was a filmmaker's movie. Okay, if you're into film and if you're into screenwriting, you probably will love it. For me, as like the average dude, I was like, nah, this is dumb. I don't like it. It's not.
Yeah, the same thing applied with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. From what I hear, it's just a movie for people in the industry to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fair. There's a lot of people in the industry.
Yeah.
So
it's like not every game is for me. Not every movie's for me.
So you took some time off from doing any Six Siege content. Is that right? To do screenwriting?
Yes.
And,
yes. Yeah.
And how recently did you start back up with Six Siege content? And what made you decide to jump? Because like for people that don't know, I know this because I've talked to you already. But this is like during 2020, the global pandemic, when it's already an extremely stressful time for a lot of people and difficult time for people around the world. You essentially changed careers on a dime, which is in and itself something that's very stressful. And you've done that. What made you decide to come back?
My mindset completely shifted with like I was really stubborn back when I did Siege. I was pushing for the success of the Frag movies just because I was appealed to like how little work it was. But in retrospect, it is a lot of work, and I'm not into that. But I'm taking more of a business approach, I guess, to YouTube. Like, just something doesn't work, don't force it. Go to something new. And I mean, it just started back up as a hobby, and it kind of still is. Although it's my main source of income, I still treat it as a hobby, secondary to screenwriting. Yeah, I mean, it's just been more fun. I'm not like as stressed about it succeeding, because if it doesn't succeed, I'll just move on to different style of content.
Right. It definitely helps with creative content to have a cavalier attitude to it. as you're producing it. It's an endearing quality.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it comes with every person just starting their own, like going their own path and not just like going for the security over their freedom. That's what a lot of entrepreneurs value.
Are you looking at a bunch of stats as your?
No, that'll drive me crazy. Every day, just looking at your stats. I used to do that, not anymore. I pretty much never look at my stats.
Then how do you know when something is doing really well versus something that isn't doing so well, and how to guide your content in the right direction?
Great question.
Well, by analytics, I'm talking about like when I say I don't look at analytics all the time, it's just like I don't go to my stream and be like, all right, what was my view count for the day? How many subs did I get? Did I meet the minimum requirements? Like did I hit the threshold of followers? It's lucrative, and you can't expect to hit thresholds. But when it comes to YouTube videos, if I see a YouTube video, I'll look at the watch time and like to dislike, and I'll look at the thumbnail we used and the editing style we used, see how it all correlates, and based on what I see, I'll figure if we should keep doing it or not. But I'll only ever look at the video, like the watch time, the total views, and the like to dislike ratio.
It's interesting. Like as Pat and I, we just had this conversation yesterday about like what stats should we track across podcasting and across YouTube for Pixel Scouters for this podcast, this show. And we have differences of opinions on it. And so for me, I was thinking it would make sense to look at like 24-hour views, 7-day views, and 28-day views. So like a day, a week, and a month. And understanding if people are like, just learning how the algorithm works. Like if it spikes within the first 24 hours and then you never see it drop off again, you know that there's something's happening. Or if it like kind of has a small hump, a big spike at 7 days and drops off, or if it has like this 3 peak situation over the course of a month. And that could help inform how you create your content going forward. But that's just like a hypothesis. I have no really clue. So why do you choose to look at your metrics versus like other metrics? Is it just things you've learned over time? Is it things that other content creators have taught you, or what would you recommend as well?
Well, you're going about it with more of a business mindset, like it's a company, and you're trying to just keep consistent growth.
Guilty.
But you gotta keep in mind, like every podcast that you make is going to be different, and with how well YouTube has refined their algorithm, it's all about likes and watch time. So I can't imagine any other platform straying away from that, because the average person spends about 60 minutes on YouTube a day. They've really refined their algorithm to watch time. It just boils down to watch time, your thumbnail, obviously, and
likes.
Watch time and likes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to podcasts, I don't really see the relevance in looking at 28-day view count, but watch time would be really good. And stirring up like are there comment section in podcasts? I don't listen to podcasts.
There's basically the only metric we have for podcasts, right, Pat, is just downloads, right? We don't even have a subscribes or anything like that.
No, you can get reviewed. There's reviews if you want to comment, but it's not like a per episode thing. It's the podcast as a whole.
Channel thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think of a podcast as any other content, like, or any other business, I guess. Like, how do you get people to walk in the door, how to get them to stay, and how to get them to come back?
Nice.
So if your opinions have like some kind of like credibility, like you can build the credibility yourself. You don't have to have a name. What's the discoverability like on podcast platforms for new podcasts?
Like, how do people find new podcasts? There's like a search function within Apple's or Spotify's app.
Do they get recommended new podcasts, like what they think you'll like?
There's editors' picks on a lot of them, and there's trending.
Yeah, that's true.
There's trending and editors'
There's
picks.
trending, okay.
But it's very much to get to trending or to get to editors' picks. It's either you need to have an audience off platform, or have aced the SEO and built it off platform.
Yeah, there's definitely like a browse thing with category, but I feel like for the
Okay.
most part, people think of a concept they want.
I
Other
feel
than
like a
for, like,
really
big
easy
popular.
way, I guess it's not easy, but the most reliable way to just grow would be talking about anything controversial,
True.
because it doesn't matter what opinion you'll have, you'll get angry people in your, or just you'll stir up a debate in the reviews, and that'll get it trending. And if people like your style, like that gives people a reason to walk in the door. And the more you talk about, like, the more sensical you are about how you talk about subject, they stay. And then, but it all boils down to your attitude and the type of content that you like making on your podcast that gets people to come back.
So how do you apply this to your own content? How do you think about getting people in the door, getting them to stay, and getting them to interact?
What do people want what do people want? Like this idea that I was talking about 2 days ago in our call with YouTube that I know is going to do well. It's going to be a solo queue series from the lowest rank possible to the rank that no one can really
Yeah.
get to. But it's going to be with different twists, different disadvantages I'm going to have to put myself through.
Just
Do
to,
you get to choose them, or does chat choose?
I'm going to say comment down below what you think the next like twist should be.
what the next crutch should be, basically.
Yeah.
Or the next.
The more comments you see, the more likes and more watch time. Like, just look at like trending videos, see how they edit their stuff. It's all like jump cuts and hyper attitudes and ADHD friendly. Like, you can't click away when you click on it. Yeah.
Yeah, like every 10 seconds, there's a new thing to focus on, kind of thing. 100%.
Yeah. There was this whole thing on clickbait, how you don't really when you see a video with a intriguing title, there's this gap of information in your mind, and your mind can't help but click on it to fill that gap of information.
They leave you with a hanging question. Sorry.
Yeah, they give you yeah, exactly. It's like you have to click on it, and studies have shown that you're not satisfied once the video is done and you have that information. You're satisfied once you physically click on the video.
Crazy. Crazy.
That's wild. I want to read more YouTube studies. This is cool.
So
yeah, Microsoft Canada did a study saying average person has 4% retention time, or 4% retention time.
Like a goldfish, basically.
Exactly, less than a goldfish. So you got to take that into account with editing.
Yeah,
there just has to be jump cuts everywhere. Yeah.
Like Pat and I, how much do you think about SEO and like titles and descriptions in your videos at all?
What is the SEO?
That answers my question, I think. To me, SEO is search everything online. I think is what optimization is what it stands for. Search
engine optimization.
Thank you. Search
engine optimization. Okay.
I search everything online.
Thank you, Pat. This is my first day here.
So that's just
don't know what I'm doing.
Like a fancy term for the algorithm on every site, right? Okay.
Well, yeah, it's your ability to optimize, right? By putting in tags, your video, for example, that are specific to what you're doing, that will help drive eyeballs to your content.
Honestly, from what I've seen, like, tags don't matter as much as people think they do. They used to matter a lot a few years ago, but now not anymore, because it's all about likes and watch time. Because YouTube, they're not against you. They want you to succeed, because the more you succeed with the more ads in your video, the more they're going to recommend, the more money they make. If your content is enjoyable to watch, YouTube is going to pump it out to more and more people, because if your watch time is 50% and over, so an average person is watching half your video at least, then they're just going to keep pushing out more and more to people.
Yeah, like you said the average person spends 60 minutes on YouTube a day. YouTube wants them to spend 61 minutes, 62 minutes, and if your content helps them do that, they're going to reward you, because the more time they spend on platform, the more they can sell to advertisers and the more money they make. And obviously, the more entertainment or value they're providing it's a triple win. The more entertainment value they're providing for the viewer, and then the more money they make, and then the more they pay you.
And the more likely the viewer, if your video is just engaging and entertaining, they're not going. they're not just going to not recommend it, because it's if when they do recommend it, the viewer watching your video is more likely to stay and click on more videos.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, there are some basics like high quality video, audio, and a lot of jump cuts and a lot of energy.
And thumbnail.
That's your core four, yeah. And thumbnail, yeah. Thumbnail, title. You usually think about the thumbnail and title as much as you think about the content of the video.
Honestly, I mean, Pat, I feel like I've learned a lot just on the YouTube side of things from Aust1n right now. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's some of it's reinforcing things we already knew, and some of it is, new ideas that we can strategize better.
Yeah, I mean, the advice I try and like give is always geared towards people like that lack self-confidence. So you just have high quality stuff. It'll keep people attracted. Like the only real thing that steers people away from your content is like no other is terrible audio. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like if somebody records their mic twice or something for a whole podcast.
Yeah. Who would do that?
I'm guessing you, right?
Both of you just shut up, okay?
Oh, no need to point any fingers there.
Yeah, it's me. Fuck. I mean, yeah. So Aust1n, I mean, you've kind of laid the groundwork for how to think about growth on YouTube, why content creators might consider going to a content house, your mindset about gaming and competitiveness in Rainbow Six Siege, which can be applied to other things as well. And I kind of, and also like why you took a little bit of a break from content creation and started going into screenwriting.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to learn about how you think about other platforms, just briefly, like Twitch and Instagram and Twitter, and their place in a content creator's realm of kind of like your brand.
Okay. So what do we start with?
It's up to you.
Everyone talk to you first, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I get asked a lot, like, what do you prefer like streaming or making videos? It's both. They just both feed off each other. It's kind of like it's really tough to grow on Twitch unless you've made unless you're big somewhere else, like on YouTube, or if you somehow just worm your way into playing with like other already established streamers, and you can kind of feed off their audience. General rule of thumb, if you make good content on Twitch, then people will find you and they'll like you. But to grow fast, you got to have presence elsewhere.
So what role do like Twitter and Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat play for you?
When it comes to Twitter and Instagram, they're only good for sponsors, really. It keeps your impressions up that you can like advertise to sponsors. You're like, oh, follow my Twitter, follow my Instagram, follow my Snapchat, follow like LinkedIn or whatever.
Follow my LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Check out my resume, y'all.
Exactly. So, I mean, Instagram, from what I've seen, like Instagram and Twitter really it's all about sponsors. And I never really got the appeal of Instagram because until two things happened. I watched my sister just scrolling through Instagram and liking everything.
Mm-hmm. And I'm assuming your sister's younger. Like, I'm assuming she's a younger sister. Yeah. Totally. I saw the exact same thing with my nephew.
And
my older sister.
And then the same thing happened when I was in Vegas for USN. I got in an elevator, saw this like 10-year-old girl just on TikTok liking everything. Not even watching, just liking. So if that's just the average consumer, then Instagram is we gotta grow, I guess. And like I never really accepted this. It never really hit me until I started getting into day trading. And there was this rule placed by, I guess, in I forget what it's called, it's not the New York Stock Exchange, it's like a federation. SEC. There you can't you can't make more than 4 exit trades in a 5-day week unless you have $25,000 in your bank account. Okay. And the average person is not going to have that. So they'll put in like $5,000 and it's in place to keep the person just from clicking and losing all their money. And that's when it hit me. And it also brought back a memory from in high school where everyone had this app called Cookie Clicker. It was just a cookie that you clicked, and every time you clicked on it, you would gain a point, and there was no cap to it. You would just keep clicking.
Oh God.
My brain.
They just click, and when I
click.
thought of that,
Yes.
now
great.
thinking about it, like holy shit, Instagram is what you got to do.
For likes, for click.
Yes,
For eyeball.
farm impressions for sponsors.
Right.
I mean, that's all I have to say. It's like crazy. It's crazy that that's a thing, but it is, and that's just the way the world works.
I told you, I'm like really into the psychology of stuff. I'm like neuromarketing and all that.
It's like, I know you're a fan of Lost. It's like when they were pressing the button on Lost. What happens if you don't press the button? I don't know, man. I'm not gonna find out though.
You gotta press it.
You gotta fucking press the
There
button.
was this whole episode just on like just the main character and another main character like press the button. I want you to press the button. Oh, nothing's gonna happen. Press the button. Nope, nothing's gonna happen. Just press the button.
I'm pretty sure that was season 2, and that was a dope episode. And it was super.
Yes.
It was super intense, and it was Desmond and Jack.
Yes. Is
Yeah.
that what is? I thought Desmond was the Irish guy with the longer hair that's been trapped in the bunker.
Yeah. He was the one pressing the button.
But it was between the bald guy that brought a bunch of knives in the first season.
Locke.
Yes, John Locke.
Locke and Jack. Yeah.
He's like, I want you to press the button, Jack. Just believe. Nope, nothing's gonna happen if I don't press it. And then the whole bunker starts shaking, and then he pressed it.
That was a wild show, man. I love that show. It was so well done.
It was wild. It was really cool back. I don't know if rewatching it is in the cards for me, but I definitely enjoyed it.
It won't like I like to think it'll hold up to today, but that could just be the nostalgia talking. Because
we'll never be impartial viewers to it.
most seasons nowadays for shows are like 6, 10, 12 episodes.
Well,
and those were 24 episodes a season, 6 seasons.
and part of Lost too was the mystery. And now that we know how it ends, it's like going back and watching it's kind of difficult, right? Because you know
yes.
everything already.
Yeah, there are some weird cliffhangers that couldn't have been like feasible in real life.
Totally. Yeah. So, Patty, I'm going to pass it off to you for questions, man. I know I've been asking a lot of questions. I'm zenning myself out. I've got so many more, but I'm just pass it off to you.
I was thinking we're right around that hour and a bit mark. I was thinking it's time for some closing questions before we're
already an hour in.
Drop the trivia bomb on him and
Holy moly! All right,
blow him out of the water.
Dude, that's a good sign. I like that. We're already an hour in. That means you're having fun. Time flies.
we're an hour and a half in.
So,
I think. Yeah.
So are we going?
If there's any now's the time. If there's any questions that you let go by the wayside, I've got one. I want to hear more about Left 4 Dead multiplayer. Is it first person shooter? Like, are you?
Oh, the multiplayer. Yeah.
Are you all PvP, all humans?
Yeah, we're all humans because, like, in The Last of Us, there are these clans in the story.
Right.
There's the Fireflies, which is the good guys, and the Hunters, which are like the savages. They lost their humanity and all that.
The clickers.
So the different teams, like in Siege, is counter-terrorists versus terrorists. Same thing in Counter-Strike. In The Last of Us, is Fireflies versus Hunters.
Okay.
And there are different guns. It's kind of pay to win. Like, you pay for different guns that you can use on different people. But it got really stale. It was really fun. That was my thing back in the day. There are different like abilities that you could. There weren't select operators that had preset abilities. You kind of made your own loadout with different abilities there.
Okay.
Every ability was worth a certain amount of points, and your loadout had a max of 13 points. It was one of the few games where suppressed guns didn't have damage drop off.
So there's just no reason not to take a suppressed gun.
Well, you spend more points on a suppressor.
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
Okay.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
That's so crazy. I never even knew it had multiplayer. I did play when I played it was an offshore vessel. So
yeah, their marketing was abysmal.
internet.
Yeah, their marketing was atrocious with the multiplayer. No one even knows that it had a multiplayer.
I never even saw it on the screen as an option.
And then out of nowhere, Like people are so confused in the comment section when Naughty Dog released a trailer for like a crossbow in the game and like a lever action rifle. They're like, "What the fuck is this? The game has a multiplayer? What?"
Yeah. What's the next Naughty Dog game you think? Like, I feel like you're a Naughty Dog fan between Red Dead and Last of Us.
I think it's Uncharted 5, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure they're making that. Yeah.
Uncharted is awesome. It's totally a different game, but they're so much fun, right? They're just like watching an interactive movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's kind of like Tomb Raider, but less difficult.
Yeah, and less boobs.
Yes,
Like,
the triangle
which word is
boobs.
not gonna
Yeah.
choose?
Yeah, way less boobs. Okay. So my question for you, Austin, like my last one before we get into trivia, is: are there any content creators that you aspire, like that you really look up to, that you see as like, role models? And also, okay, two questions, and also like goals for you for the next like couple years. What do you hope to accomplish?
I mean, I never really want to set a goal on the number of like subscribers I want to hit. It's just
It could be it could be screenplay. It could be it could be anything. I don't mean
well,
specifically.
I want to definitely be able to sell my scripts. But when it comes to just setting numbers, I feel like I can't ever take it like a 9 to 5 job for this reason, because if I take a specific career path, like my parents were like, "Oh, you should work for the government." I'm like, "No," because they're like, "Why?" And I said, "Well, because by the time I'm 50, I know that I'll only be making 250K a year." They're like, "Oh, but that's good money." I say, "Yes, but that's almost like knowing when you're gonna die." Like knowing where your cap is gonna be in that by the end of your life. That's just depressing to think about. So just keep pushing for more results. Is I don't really set like, oh, by 2 years from now I want to be at 250,000 subs.
So just on that note, like a common thread that I'm teasing together from a bunch of your questions here, between not setting limits on yourself and just starting and not having low confidence in yourself, like a common thread I'm teasing together here is that you believe that you're capable of learning and challenging yourself and growing, and that's what interests you. And
Yes.
That's what you attribute a lot of your success to today, is just that mentality that like it's okay to suck at something to start, but that's not where you're going to end.
But you can't really teach someone that mindset, I've realized, because people, like, it was a really risky path what I took, but that's what I kind of like about it. I like the freedom with it of doing whatever you want, but most people, it gives them that stresses them out, and they prefer security. Like, here's my time for a certain pay, and boom, I'm happy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just you can't really teach someone the risk mindset.
I love that. I relate to it, and I love it. And I think anybody who's listening, who is afraid of taking the first step or the next step, can keep that in mind. There's tons of people out there that have taken that step, have sucked at it, and have stopped doing it because they felt that they sucked at it. But like you said, like if you can look back and see that you're cringing at yourself, that means you're growing. So just keep pushing forward, keep looking back, keep cringing, and keep learning, right?
Yes.
I absolutely love your motivation too. I think that's going to carry you a long way.
Both of you have the same motivation as well with being entrepreneurs, right?
I think Rob takes the cake on that one from me.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I can relate for sure with fanfic gaming, and the other thing I would add to it, just from my own personal experience, is that you touched on it a little bit about the loneliness of it. Is that being an entrepreneur and probably this also applies to a content creator, is like, yeah, it can be lonely a lot, but nobody's ever alone. Like, nobody does it alone. Just like you've relied on other content creators to help push you forward and show you what's possible. Mm-hmm. I rely on family and friends and other entrepreneurs and people in my network to show me, like, the way, and just to like be that support network as well. So you know, it's definitely there, that loneliness, but there is a big support network as well out there.
Yes. And you asked about do I look up to anyone? It's gonna sound cliche, but XQC is definitely a good one to look up to because he's as pure as they come when it comes to just entertaining. That's all he cares about. He's gifted around $500,000 worth of subs to his own chat. He doesn't care about the money, and he openly says this, that he's going to regret it later, but he just wants to stay focused on entertaining his audience, and that's what he just wants to keep it pure like that. And there's another streamer that I like. His name is Mizkif. He's a newer streamer. Not like maybe 2 years ago, he had like 300 viewers average. Now he's at 30K, 40K on average.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And
how do you spell his name? Mizkif?
Miz.
Yeah.
KIF. And he's the same as XQC. He's just all energy, and he wants people to like, he just doesn't take himself seriously. He doesn't complain. He just wants people to feel comfortable around him.
Dope, man.
Those are the people I
love that.
Those
are great answers, great people to look up to, and like great reasons why as well. Patty, it's my favorite time.
Yeah. So you got no help here, no phone of friends.
Do we need does anybody need a bathroom break? Austin, you good?
Yeah,
Patty, you good?
All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, me
like 45 seconds.
Yo, what up, Gobs?
Yo,
I know you're listening to this.
I am
What's cracking? How you doing?
doing great. Editing the podcast. Hell yeah!
Pat,
No
I
problem.
couldn't vamp by myself, Pat. I didn't know what to do. I just left.
Oh, actually, Rob, all you gotta do is talk to Gobs because he's listening to all this.
Oh, what's up, Gobs? Okay, so
Did
did you describe the format?
I did, and I just realized I need my my ding.
Do you fuck? The ding tilts me. Do you?
In lieu of a ding, I will accept a suggestion of another celebratory noise.
That was easy.
Ooh,
Sure, yeah.
Nice, well done. Do you have that portion of your screen covered, Austin?
Yeah, I have lanterns or Pat's
That was
face
easy.
just full screen. Yeah,
Okay,
that was easy.
Okay. Nice.
awesome.
Now we do need on the it's entirely possible that you get something wrong, right? Or is it not?
I mean, sure, yeah, of course. But it's like predicting the weather. I'm probably not.
I
getting it wrong.
I think honestly, I asked Pat to make it hard for you, and I hope it's hard. I hope you don't just dummy it.
Okay. I hope it's hard. Yeah.
So the cues are audio, and what's the deal?
Start them off with some operator.
Operator
Here we
voice
go.
lines.
Question number 1.
How many have you killed? How many have you killed?
I can keep going.
That's smoke.
That is smoke. Easy.
Perfect.
That was easy.
That was easy.
Okay, one for one.
Okay.
I barely gave you anything, too. I gave you just a snippet of his voice.
By the way, what's on the line here, Pat?
Oh, I don't even.
If you get 70%, Austin, we'll do a sponsored giveaway for you
All right. Perfect.
for some 6 Siege.
And I will try C. I ass handed.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Question number 2.
Ears. Time to ring some ears. We don't need
Thermite.
heroes.
That's thermite.
Right away.
Make it harder, Pat. Make it harder.
That was
Fucking
easy.
hole. Yeah.
Okay, we got to move off the operators. They're way too easy. Well, start getting a little harder here. It's gonna go up big time. So now I'm gonna pick a gun.
Just so you,
It's gonna be shot into the air. I'll play through it until you hear reload, and then I'll play through it again if you need help.
All right.
Okay, turn it up a bit.
name that gun.
I'm
We can do it
almost certain that's Thermite's gun again. Thermite's 556.
Yeah.
That was easy.
So good. I thought maybe we had him because there was a lot of silence.
There was a lot of
thinking.
silence. There's a lot of.
I was just waiting for the reload to be sure. Yeah.
I think people use pistols less. That would be more difficult.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, pistols are definitely more difficult to.
They're all going to sound pretty similar too, aren't they?
Oh, that's a deagle. That's a deagle. Yeah.
Why would you pick the deagle? Come on, Pat.
I wanted it to be not so hard.
Come on.
Not so easy. Hard, you say, yeah.
4 for 4.
Deagle's the easiest one, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, Pat. I agree with Austin. Fucking obviously. Come on.
Even in Counter-Strike, yeah.
How about...
That's the M870.
Oh my god. How do you know? How is this even possible?
That was easy.
That was easy.
What is it about the sound that
they're all different, and it's the reload speed as well. Because
I saw you.
M870 is a lot faster than like the M590 or the M1014. Yeah,
I saw you like beating your head to the reload speed.
I mean, that's an important thing to do, I would say, in these types of games, is because you hear how many shots you're counting. Are you doing this? Are you counting somebody's shots off and shooting at you? Know that they're reloading. You have. I mean,
that's kind of instinctive when it comes to just normal guns reloading. But when it comes to like someone like a DMR or like Glaz, where I know he only has 11 bullets, I will physically count like out loud. Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, definitely. Like if I'm playing HOTS, I'm counting opponents and teammates' cooldowns in my head, at least roughly. Like that ability is 16 seconds on cooldown.
I never count my own bullets, so I always mag dump pistols and just die. Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, speaking of pistols, we got another one for you.
That's Cav's pistol.
Yeah. Come on.
With the giant suppressor on it. Yeah.
Come on. The only one, Pat. Pat doesn't know. To be fair, Pat doesn't know. You're almost at the sponsored giveaway. You're 6 for 6. One more correct answer gets you the giveaway.
All right.
This is fun.
This is insane how good you are at this. Like
so good. It's crazy.
We knew you'd be good, but not this good.
To be fair, you are giving me the easiest guns. That's Jaeger's and Bandit's gun. It has 16 bullets. It's really square. He pulls it back like this, and IQ, Blitz, Jaeger, Bandit all have the gun.
Okay. It's called the P12, right?
P12. Right. Yes.
Okay. I think we gotta just bow down here to the prowess, to the skill. Is there any gun you think that you wouldn't have gotten? Could I have picked
that
one
you've already shown?
Right? Like, was there ever a chance at me finding one that was a difficult?
I don't know. I'm pretty good at like when I hear someone shooting in the game, I'll know they have this operator based on that gun.
Crazy.
I mean, that's a really important and useful skill. And incredible.
Yes.
Like, just very impressive.
Well, I appreciate it. You said you had 3 more? You had 3 more to do.
Go. You got to get him a perfect. Let's see if he can ace it.
Yeah. Now we got to know.
That's Ella's gun. It's the Scorpion.
Yeah. I love it. It's so good.
Pat, I knew we were fucked when he was like, these operators had ACOGs on their guns, and then this operator got the ACOG nerfed from his gun, and then this operator got the... And it's like, you knew the chronology of when operators got scopes nerfed off their guns, and at that point I realized we were fucked.
All right, here we go. We get another shotty.
That's a Super 90 frost shotty.
Dude, give him the sound. Give him that was easy. Because that was easy.
That was easy.
That was so...
What if I throw you off with another voice line? Would that
Go for it. Go.
No, that's not gonna do it.
Ears. As my friend would say, time to ring some ears.
That's a bomb.
As my friend.
Yeah.
Ace.
Like, no, that would be easier. That will not throw him off.
Aced it. Austin, you son of a bitch. All right, well,
Hey.
I mean, full round of applause. That was incredible. I loved it.
we've never had anybody ace our trivia before.
Well,
And
this
honestly,
is an
like,
honor.
usually,
This
like
is-
a gunshots one would be very difficult. I would think.
Like, we thought you'd get some of them. Not... Like, we didn't even finish the sound clip. You're like, oh, it's the fucking scorpion. Of course.
of course, yeah. What else could it be?
16 bullets. That's obviously the P20.
Yeah, it's so good.
What do you think, you simpletons? You think it's an Uzi?
You plebs. Yeah. We're just a couple of filthy casuals over here.
Yeah, but I almost threw one of these in it.
Are you asking what gadget that was?
Just,
What
it's
was
just
it?
a frag grenade.
It's just a nade, yeah.
I know.
Hey, Pat, are there gadget audio sounds? Can you pull them
Oh,
up?
maybe.
There are
See it?
gadget audio sounds, yeah.
But is
Whether
there,
I can pull them up or not, that's another question.
yeah, see if there's one we can. We gotta stump them on one, maybe. Give us one more chance here, Austin. We gotta get you.
I'm looking forward to getting stumped.
You already got the ace.
Try this.
That's fuse. That's a fuse cluster.
Why do I even bother?
Yeah. All right, it's over. Pull up fucking.
Throw up the GGs.
Put up Last of Us multiplayer sound clip and see what happens. Like, just
Is that? Do
Holy
you think
shit.
somebody's taken the time to upload that type of information onto YouTube?
100%. That's like that for every single game. Why you gotta throw shade at
The
them?
multiplayer.
Ride or Die, Last for Us 1 multiplayer.
They have voices. I'm flipping through them and I'm like, he's just gonna get all
Now-
of these.
Also, now I'm just curious if the same gun sounds the same across different games. Like, if you shoot an M16,
They do not. They do not. Sadly.
that's weird, right? Like, so Gran Turismo for racing games, I'm not a racing game guy, but apparently Gran Turismo, they take like the actual sound of the car's engine. That's one of the things car enthusiasts love about the game.
Yeah, I mean
surprised-
that's what Escape from Tarkov does as well with the gun sounds. Like
Oh yeah.
you get the same pistol in Tarkov and Siege, they're gonna sound completely different. It's weird.
That's weird that they would do that. Wouldn't it make sense to have it sounds the same? I guess they're different games. I mean,
But then you get into the neuromarketing of Ubisoft and Escape from Tarkov, because Ubisoft wants to make it like more kid friendly in some
Right.
in their weird way. So like that you get more of like a pew pew sound, and
Yeah. The narrow
Tarkov
marketing,
you're
like
going for the realism. Yeah,
that opens up a lot of options of how you want it to sound.
exactly. Like
That's
more
better sound.
commercially friendly. Yeah.
well, I know
I'd
like
be interested in the Foley of it. Foley is like what they do for movie audio. That it's not.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah. I've
example,
seen videos like
documentaries,
that. I've
yeah,
seen
like a
videos
bat
of like how
flying
they
by. It won't be the bat wings. They'll take leather and go like this or something.
exactly.
yeah, Pixar does
or like-
that. Yeah,
Or like for
So
the
like
movie,
literally nature documentaries do it.
or what's the a Quiet Place with John?
yeah, John Krasinski. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
Like when the ears of the monster came up, they would crunch celery.
Crazy.
That's cool.
That is
That's
so
a cool one.
That was a great movie, by the way. I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah.
Second one's already out.
Excuse
see
me.
this now?
Where can I watch it?
And the podcast.
I don't know.
I gotta
don't
go.
know.
I gotta
It didn't
watch
come
the
out that
second
long
one.
ago.
All right, we're gonna try one weapon here of Last of Us. See how this goes.
That's just the hunting rifle, bolt action hunting rifle.
Dude, you're a
Yeah.
fucking animal.
I was thinking, I was like, he should be able to get it based on that loading sound.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
how many
yeah.
clicks we're
There's
going
only
on.
one bolt action rifle in the game. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're
But like a lot of the guns are like too easy, like this one, for example. Let's wait till he uses it. I mean, right.
The flamethrower.
You should know what it is.
13,
Yeah.
13 for 13. Pat, we gotta stop. We gotta stop this. This is
We gotta stop. This has been fantastic.
Austin. Honestly, man, it was a blast. Thank you so much for coming on, dude. And
No problem. It was great.
Great to like just learn from you, to get your insights on Six Siege, to get your insights on content creation, to learn about the content house that you're going to be joining in August or September. When is it? When are you?
August, yeah, August.
And for people that want to follow you online, where can they like find out about you? What can they follow you?
YouTube is just Aust1n with the 1 and 7 I. So just youtube.com/Aust1n. Twitch, Aust1nian. Twitch.tv/Aust1nian with the
Somebody
1.
else had the Austin.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, in my bio, it literally says Aust1n was taken. Now I have Aust1nian. Twitter is just at Aust1n. So same as YouTube, but 2 Austins. And then Instagram is just Aust1n and YT.
And
that's it. Those are my socials.
We'll link all of this too if anybody misses it. But yeah, definitely AUST1N, and you'll find Aust1n for sure.
Yeah, yeah. On YouTube, all my links are in like descriptions of the videos, so that's perfect.
Beauty.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Austin. It was an absolute pleasure having you on. Yeah, we look forward to watching all your new content at the content.
Let's go. I appreciate it.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Let's fucking go.
Oh, baby. All right, Patty, play us out, buddy.
All right, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you all next week for another episode of Pixel Scouting.